Now, let me come to something that's quite important to finish with this first section of the course. The principles. Actually, you know, the principles, humanitarian principles, the origin lies with the Red Cross, Red Crescent movement, which had, for its own use, established 7 principles. But some of them are purely internal to the movement. But I mean, there are 4 that have a sort of general value. And these 4 principles are humanity, impartiality, independence, and neutrality. Okay, these are the 4 principles. And this was the basis of the idea of humanitarian principles. Why? Because the Red Cross movement is a sort of very strange and unique animal, which has this sort of very special relationships to the states. And in particular, they have this Red Cross, Red Crescent conference every 4 years, where you have delegations from the state and from national societies, Red Cross or Red Crescent, sitting side by side in the conference with equal voting power, right? And these principles were adopted by such a conference, which means that these principles were adopted also by the community of states, okay? So you have the principle of humanity, and this is the wording of the Red Cross, Red Crescent, which basis the principle is that there is a sort of, to go back right to the beginning, or saying a sort of obligation or concern to assist people in need of protection and assistance. That's the basis. And this is not problematic. I mean, everybody would sort of can go along with that. But then you have a second principle, which is the principle of impartiality. And for me, this is really the cornerstone of humanitarian action. And this is, you have the wording here. It says the Red Cross movement, but this would be valid for any humanitarian action, makes no distinction as to nationality, race, religious belief, etc., etc. It endeavors only to relieve suffering, giving priority to the most urgent cases of distress. Now that brings you back to Solferino, what I was saying about the soldiers not taking the soldier's uniform, the wounded soldier's uniform into account. But basically, this is the fundamental principle. In a sense, it means that whenever you have a humanitarian action, the only criterion according to which the humanitarian organization decides to assist and protect, the only criterion is that of the needs. The importance of the needs. No other consideration should be taken into account. This is something extremely clear. And I think that this is probably the most fundamental and the most important of those principles, because it really is the one that will be able to make a clear distinction between humanitarian actors and maybe actors with humanitarian concerns.